Hey guys, Kate here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on The Meg. And The Meg has now become one of my favorite movies. If you haven't seen the movie yet, or you're not really into shark movies, I do recommend checking it out just because it's a very fun, action-packed film. I wouldn't necessarily call it a masterpiece, but it is a really good movie. So what a lot of people don't know about this movie is that it's actually based on a book by the same name called The Meg. And The Meg is actually a series of books by Steve Alton, which is one of my favorite authors ever. I've read almost all the Meg books, and I absolutely love them. When I heard about the movie, I couldn't be more excited. I mean, this thing was like a huge deal because Steve Alton, who wrote the book series, he's been trying to get his movie made for like years, like literally since 1990 something. A lot of people were saying like, oh, you're just selling out, you know, it's gonna suck, blah blah blah, because the movie's never as good as the book and whatever. But I was really supportive. There were a few things that I was really nervous about that they would mess up, especially with going with a Chinese production company, but it turned out to be a really good film. I was pleasantly surprised. You gotta understand, like, I had very high expectations for this movie, being a huge fan of the book series. I was also worried that this movie would turn into another shark movie, which is the term that we use for movies that are basically ripping off Jaws. And it wasn't. I mean, it was really different in the fact that, like, it's a giant shark now, there's deep sea elements to it, and it's kind of unique because it's based on a different book, whereas Jaws was also a book. But even the movie Jaws is different than the book Jaws. I've read Jaws the book by Peter Benchley and seen the movie, and they're actually pretty different. I think that's what I love about the Meg movie as well, is they kind of did their own thing. The movie doesn't really follow the first book as much as I thought it would, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. They swapped out some characters, they swapped out some plot elements, but overall it was fairly entertaining. There are a few scenes from the book that I wish they would have made into the movie that would have been so awesome, and I won't spoil anything if you haven't seen it. I also gotta say that watching this film in 3D was amazing. All the underwater shots were really detailed, and it felt like you were actually underwater. There's moments where it's just like dead silent, and all you can hear is like little bubbles. I love that. I thought it was very realistic. You feel claustrophobic. You feel like you're billions of miles underneath the ocean floor. I mean, it's just amazing. The animation was really well done, I feel like. The action was really cool too. Really suspenseful. Kind of predictable for the most part, but really entertaining. A lot of people complained that this movie wasn't gory enough, and I think it was fine without all the gore in it, but this movie was PG-13, and a lot of people, having read the book, were expecting it to be rated R, but honestly, I don't think it needed it, because, like I said before, it did its own thing. It didn't really copy the book, but they did, you know, go off from source material as much as possible. And I've also heard that they're going to make a sequel, like a sequel to The Meg is already in production, and was in production shortly after they got the numbers back from the first movie, and I'm really excited to see that. I'm really hoping it comes out pretty soon, although, you know, good movies take time, so whatever they gotta do to make a good sequel. But I'm really hoping that the sequel is just as good, if not better, than the first movie, and I'm hoping that they stick closer to source material because they have a lot to work with, and fans of the book would like to see more of that. More of source material, please. Not that the first movie wasn't great, and not that you can't do your own thing, but source material helped a lot. I'd be excited to see that. That's all I got for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I've been gone so long. If you want to know what's been going on with me and some updates, check out the update video I just made, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.